Welcome to A Woman's Brew, where women talk about beer. In today's episode, we head back to the pumpkin patch for our yearly episode of pumpkin and pumpkin spice beers. I'm Joanne, and this is Tori.
Hello.
And we're two beer-loving women on a mission to get more people drinking and talking about great beer. Come join us. Here we are in our orange t-shirts.
No,
those that can't see us.
What I really love, so mine's actually like a Solvay Society one, and I got this one because it's like I was buying stuff from Solvay and I was like, I really want to buy something. I like buying stuff from breweries.
You're
like,
a merch.
When I put in order,
I'm merch hound.
I'm definitely a merch hound. And I was like, like if I see a shirt that's like interesting or whatever, and I was like, you don't often see orange shirts.
Yeah,
I think the only other people I've seen do an orange shirt were Elusive. So and I already had one of their shirts and it was not orange, so I went and I got this. And again, as usual, you can vouch, we have not synced up at all. We just both showed up wearing orange shirts. We literally logged in and I was like, nice shirt.
Yeah, we're both in orange. I have not got a beer related one. I don't think I've got an orange. I've not got an orange beer shirt. I do have a pumpkin beer shirt, but I think it's a Witchwood one and I can't remember where I put it.
I do feel like I should have worn my shipyard pumpkin head jumper.
You should have worn that. Mine is a 2012 Happy Halloween shirt from Old Navy.
I like it. It's
got a pile of skulls and a raven.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that a raven? It's a raven.
Yeah, a raven. Probably a raven.
Skulls.
Yeah.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
I mean, we're still being spoopy, even though it's not spoopy. Halloween.
It is spoopy, even though it's not Halloween.
Yeah.
And I think it's hilarious because, like, I went to go record, and everyone in my household at the moment was like, "Oh, are you wearing your orange shirt for spoopies?" And they're like, "Why are you getting spoopy after Halloween?" And I was like, "Because it's not spoopy, it's pumpkins, guys." But I will say, well, we're on the topic of pumpkins. You gave me my.
I did. I gave you your Christmas present.
And if you're watching the video, wow! It's a Starbucks PSL mug, and it says "Spoopy Bitch" on it.
Yeah,
it's got a fun little.
It's got a little charm on it. Like it's PSL. It's proper basic bitch pumpkin.
I was gonna say it's the most basic, and I love it so much. And also where the mouth part is, also can function as a handle.
So it's so good. Like I love those.
I think I took it out of the package, and I took it out in this ASMR of this thing. Like
the charm just banging around.
I took it out knowing what it was because I could see the charm, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And then she's like, "Turn it around, though." And then I was like, "Whoa, bam! It says "Spoopy Bitch" on it around the mermaid," and I was like, "This is amazing." Rick then came in and vouched and said, "Yes, you are a spoopy bitch," and I was like, "Thank you, appreciate you." So yeah, it is known. So that was pretty effing cool, and I thought, as it's a pumpkin episode, I would show this one off. But before we get into the beer, maybe we should do a little bit of housekeeping because we had Brass Castle on either the episode or 2 episodes before this one. I don't know.
2.
I think
probably
2
2
episodes, probably 2 before this one. And we had a follow-up from Nathan sent across of just a little message.
Hi, Nathan.
To share. So Joe, do you want to read? Do you want me to read it?
You can read it because I haven't got it open.
I realized after I said that I was like, I'm actually the one that's got it open. So I will read his message. So yeah, he sent us this follow-up email again, just to remind you, they were so generous. They gave us a 10% one-time only discount code, and that is just A Woman's Brew. It's in the show notes of that episode. But yeah, so incredibly lovely. Like, try this stuff. We've also Joe and I managed to sneak our own messages on the bottom of some cans of Bad Kitty and of Christmas Kitty. So if you want to know what messages we put on the bottom, you're going to have to buy them. Use this 10% off code. You're going to have to buy them, and then you'll have to figure out which one of us put the message on which one of the cans, and you'll have to figure out what they mean. So that will be fun. Let us know, tag us in things.
Yeah, tag us
if you actually get it and you know it's us.
that we did.
It would be fun to see people buying like bad kitty and it's a message that they're like, what is that? But yeah, Nathan wanted to pass along the message of he said, some advice I'd like to pass on to any of your listeners who, like me, are considering whether it's worth it. It is. And that means making a career jump is what he's referring to. If you listen to that
following
episode,
your dreams,
potentially that means making a career jump. Maybe that just means pursuing a podcast or anything else like that. His advice was email your local brewery, ask to come and peek behind the curtain, get stuck into a brew day. It makes beer taste all the better when you know what goes into it. And don't be dissuaded if the communication takes time. Now, on the other side of the fence, I know things can just get away from you in a brewery, and replying even to my partner can go out of the window. Sorry, Beth. That was that was a message from Nathan, and I wholeheartedly agree with that. I have always said that I think if people looking at some criticisms that people make of breweries and certain beers, and not that they're not, you know, valid, or not that sometimes it's not warranted, but I do think sometimes people think things are easier than they are, or that things should just be quote unquote like a certain way, and until you actually kind of know what goes into a brew day or what goes on behind the scenes, it can make it seem maybe a little bit easier than the reality is. And I have always said that I mean, I'm in full agreement with what you said there. You want to get stuck in, if you identify as female, go to an International Women's Collaboration Brew Day if you can, and that will give you a good experience there, and someone will talk you through it. Or if you just have a brewery local to you, as you said, email them, try to get stuck in, see what you can do, and maybe you decide it's not for you, and then you've saved yourself a career jump. Or maybe you decide you absolutely love it and it confirms that that's what you want to do. Or maybe you see brewing's not for you, but working at a brewery is in some other capacity. So thanks for that, Nathan. He's lovely. Like, they were both so lovely, and him and Sam were so like, it was such a fun time, and they were just a really good like chat. And I hope we do get to sort of go up and visit them and try the Nitro Kitty, and hopefully we'll get to do that sooner rather than later, because I think it would just be absolutely awesome to do. So big love to them, and 10% off code, go and try a brewery that makes all of their beers gluten-free, and if you don't want to try it for yourself, say you're not a massive beer drinker yourself, I don't know why you'd be listening to us, but maybe it's not for you. Maybe you've got a massive collection and you're just trying to Christmas shop for somebody else that has gluten intolerance. This is the brewery you want to go to. Get them a mixed box. Cool. On to our pumpkin beers.
Yes.
First one I think will have to be a Screamin pumpkin ale. Let's start with an American classic. Do you want to say the background of kind of where we got this one from? Because I've got some feelings.
I was interested in what order you were going to put these in, because I was like, do we start with the American one? Because does that then set the bar really high?
I think
they're also
I think the thing is they're also wildly different for the most part. I think the one that's going to follow this is probably the one that, if any of them will be the closest. And I actually kind of think maybe starting with an American one is the better way to sort of set the standard of what we're expecting. Or maybe, I don't know, I might try it and go, not for me.
We're going to find out. So this
open.
is Screamin Pumpkin Ale from Griffin Claw Brewing Company, and we bought this through Brew Export. They had a pumpkin beer showcase, which was this one, and this one barrel aged. We decided not to drink that one tonight. We're going to save it.
Yeah, I'm saving that for I don't know, another occasion. It will keep probably longer than this one will. I will say I got some feelings, because I do like Brew Export. I like they get in some really good stuff, and I think some of it is, I know they import for other, for certain shops, and also they import stuff that it's not the same selection of US breweries that you tend to see at a lot of other places, and their prices are beyond reasonable. Obviously we did an interview with them, you can go listen to that. We've talked about them before and just how reasonable they are. But I will say, slightly disappointed because their pumpkin showcase was only 2 beers and it was only
Yeah.
this in the barrel-aged version. And I thought if
I know, I got
anybody,
excited.
when they first announced it, you were like, they're going to do a pumpkin showcase. And I was like, yes. When they first announced it, I was like, oh, they've got to have some good stuff. And then we saw it and I was like, oh.
I mean,
So I
these
thought
are
if
probably
anyone was
good,
going to have
but
it,
I was like I wanted to be
more.
greedy, and I wanted like 4 or 6 beers. Like I wanted like a showcase. Like I wanted a case of pumpkin beers. Not all the same. I wanted them to be different.
Or like 6. Like let's say like I was hoping like for
6.
like a variety of different ones because we're greedy.
Yeah.
We're both greedy.
So,
and also I thought if anyone was going to be able to deliver American pumpkin beers or just pumpkin beers as a whole, I was like, they're going to be the ones to do it. And then I was just really sad when it was 2. I'm still happy that I've got any.
We still got like it. We got some American pumpkin beer, which we may not have done. So, you know, props for that. But Shannon, I want to
next year up the pumpkin
like 4 next year. I want 4 in the pumpkin showcase.
Double it.
Because I want all the pumpkin beers.
We're gonna buy it. Yeah. I mean, I say like we're gonna buy it as if like 2 people are making up like profit margin, because it's definitely not. And I understand there's probably challenges there. It's like you've got to import stuff you know is gonna sell. But it makes me sad because I just want more and I'm greedy. And I genuinely felt like overall across the board, even in the UK, I feel like we had more last year.
Yeah, it felt like there wasn't.
It felt like there was more last year, but maybe it was just like I didn't look as hard for certain ones. I don't know.
Yeah. But anyway, let's open this and see how tasty it is. So this is an amber ale.
Oh, I can smell the spices. Oh, happiness.
Oh, yeah.
This smells as I expected to smell, and it makes me happy.
It says on the can, our autumn seasonal, an amber ale brewed with roasted pumpkin in the mash, then spiced with ginger, allspice, nutmeg, and cloves. Spicy and refreshing. A great tailgating beer.
Yeah, I guess. But I also don't know. I guess I know why people tailgate in autumn.
It says made in the mitt. What does that mean?
I think that's probably Michigan, because is that the one that's the glove? Is that the...
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. You're American.
Oh God, I don't know. I'll look in a second, but I'm fairly certain that it might be Michigan. I like that they've got on the back, they've got some quotes, and I absolutely love it. So there's only the knife knows what goes on in the heart of a pumpkin. That's from Simon Schwarzbart.
Simone.
Oh, Simone. This is what I don't read. I'll let you read the I'll let you read the rest of it.
I looked up who she was. Do you want me to read it?
Right. Hold on. There's quotes on the back. My favorite's the second one, so I'll let you read the first one.
Okay. Okay, so it says, only the knife knows what goes on in the heart of the pumpkin, and that's by Simone Schwarzbart. And she is a French novelist from Guadeloupean background.
Oh, all right. That's
exciting.
I see you.
Yeah.
Then there's Good People Drink Good Beer, which is Hunter S. Thompson, of course. And obviously, as a person that went to school for journalism, just Hunter S. Thompson fan. So
I mean, I've seen that
and as a
many
hipster, I've seen that quote on many a bar. Well, as a hipster and a student of journalism, I appreciate him and it, even though he's not a hero by any means, but there's respect there. There's also, I would rather sit on a pumpkin and have it all to myself than be crowded on a velvet cushion. Henry David Thoreau.
I missed that one.
That's a good one. I'm gonna check.
This beer is very nice and amber. It's got a fluffy white head.
Yes, it's Michigan. Sorry,
well done.
I was googling in the background. Michigan is the mitt.
It smells.
Looks like a mitten.
It smells like cookies.
It does, yeah. I get a lot of I think ginger is probably the most prominent aroma out of all of them. But yeah, spiced cookies is really what it smells like.
Yeah. Right, I'm drinking it.
It has that like pumpkin, like it has that pumpkin ale aroma that I'm used to in like US pumpkin beers. So it's exactly as I expected. Oh my God. I like it. I'm a fan.
I want more cinnamon.
I actually think that this is very well
Do you
balanced.
think so?
I think the thing is, it could have more cinnamon. However, I think that the balance of the flavors are really good. And if there was more cinnamon, it might actually throw off the balance of flavors.
So I think it's got more nutmeg and did it say it had clove in it?
Yep.
I think I would like less nutmeg and clove, and I'd like more cinnamon. Oh, there's no cinnamon in it.
There's no
That's
cinnamon
why.
in it. Oh,
Because it's got allspice instead.
I think
It
like
needs
I said,
cinnamon.
I could very much go with like cinnamon, like
Yeah.
heavy cinnamon, because I love cinnamon. Put that shit on everything. I don't really, but on these type of things, cinnamon
I'm
everywhere.
gonna check
like,
this. The next time we have dinner somewhere, I'm gonna see if she puts
you
cinnamon
like
on it.
steak, and you're like, actually, you say that. I have
Cinnamon.
thrown cinnamon in things like making tacos, and like when you have like spicy stuff, you just put like a little bit of cinnamon in, and it sort of makes some variation there, and it's good. I love the flavors. Love cinnamon. However, I do think this is quite well balanced, and I think
Yeah.
it, like the flavors themselves, they're very prominent. They're noticeable, bold flavors, unlike some where the spices in the pumpkin spice beers aren't as heavy as they could be.
And I think this like it really tastes like pumpkin.
Yeah. Well, pumpkin in the sense of like when I think pumpkin spiced ale from the US, I do think of this taste, to be fair. Just to as a reminder, the 5 most common spices for pumpkin spice are cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, clove, and allspice. So this is pretty much just missing the cinnamon. So I think that's why probably the aroma is much more heavily ginger.
Yeah.
There's no cinnamon there to sort of cut into that. Quite like it. Well, I think it's the clove and the allspice that are like the nutmeg.
Yes,
Those
that's
are really
what I'm
starting
getting
to come through now.
That's what I'm getting in the taste.
It like the smell of the spices are almost like it's like it feels like someone sprinkled a bit of the like a pumpkin spice on top. I feel like if I wanted to get all the hate, I would do a sugar.
I was about to say, like, have you not got yourself ready to do a sugar rim?
I probably should have gotten ready. Oh, we could do that. We could.
I'm not going to do it now.
We could do that. Yeah. Anyways, that's good. I like that one.
So I wonder what that one was. Well, the barrel aged one was aged in.
I have it.
Oh, as if by magic.
As if by magic. Yeah, bourbon. Barrel.
Okay, bourbon.
It says Imperial Pumpkin Ale aged in bourbon barrels. So
classic.
Yes. So I don't know if there's any actually further details. No, literally, that's the can. If you're watching the video, it quite literally is.
It's just a dark one.
Straight
And it's called
to the
BIP.
point. Yeah, BIP. Bourbon Imperial Screamin' Pumpkin. There's no fun quotes on this one, to be fair.
Oh, that's sad.
I quite like the label art of this one better.
Yeah, it's more spoopy.
You're looking at definitely more spoopy. It's more fun.
Yeah.
If you're looking at the video, I've got them both up. They're both good, but this one's got the quotes and this one's definitely got the extra pizzazz to it.
And it's got a gold top as well.
Does have a gold top. I don't know why. I am kind of like a sucker for, I don't know, it just feels luxurious.
Makes it feel premium.
It does actually, I think. Like, ooh, luxury. Yes. Oh. I also have, which I got you one as part of your Christmas present. Part of your Christmas present, I got you the Beer Feelings Chai Cream Beer Sugar.
Oh, so exciting.
I haven't used it yet. My parents brought it over with them after I ordered it over there. If you're watching the video, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's just sugar. Now Natalie does these in tubs where you can actually just, like, they're dipping tubs now. Yeah. These are little boxes and you have to put it on a saucer. But they're now coming in the tins that you can just dip the glass right into. And she's doing an espresso one. And I saw a video today where she recommended the espresso one with berry sours.
Amazing.
And cream ales and something else I thought was amazing. And I
we
was
don't
like,
really get too many cream ales over
we
here.
Don't get. I know exactly. We don't get cream ales in the UK.
It feels like over in the US there's so many cream ales, and then I think I'll try to find one for something. No,
So it's because a cream ale was the attempt at trying to get a light beer that was similar to a light lager, but was still an ale, to get like light lager drinkers into craft beer and into ale. So we don't really have them over here because that wasn't a problem that we needed to work on.
That's fair. That is totally fair. Fair dues. I tried to look for one for something in particular, and I don't remember what it was. I think it was
it's a very American style, I think.
When we did beer and candy pairings or something, there was like something in particular I had was like pairs really good with cream ale, and I was like, okay, and I tried like finding something just to see if I might be able to get it, and I was like immediately no, like could not get
like a golden ale might be your closest over here.
Fair. I wouldn't have even, to be fair, I wouldn't have even thought of that. I was just like, I can't find anything that's cream ale. So
yeah, but we don't really do cream ales over here. There was, I think when I went up to Manchester a couple of times ago, we were in Bunderbust and they had a cream ale on, and I was like, how was the cream ale? Because we never get one over here. Should I try it? And everyone was like, no. No offense, Bunderbust.
Absolutely not.
No offense, Bunderbust. Your Vienna lager is perfection, but apparently the cream ale, not so much.
I've
or maybe that's just that British palates don't like cream ale.
Well, that's it. That can very much be a thing as well, and that's also, I think, kind of like partially why you don't. That's partially why you don't get the pumpkin spiced and pumpkin beers over here. It's like I've said it before on past episodes, and I'll say it again because it just keeps proving itself to be correct. So many people over here do not like cinnamon, and the idea of pumpkin, even though most of the people that when I speak to them, they say they don't like it, and I say, have you tried pumpkin, anything pumpkin spice? They say no, and then they happily eat a Christmas cookie, which is like made up of a majority of the same spices. I just think sometimes it's like can't get your head around. We'll eat a butternut squash and other gourd. We'll have Christmas cookies with all the same spices, but for some reason put a pumpkin in a beer and it's shit. However, I appreciate when it comes to brewing, because before we move on to the next one, what I will say is I was looking up facts and everything else, and I saw like there was a few different websites that talked about like preparing a pumpkin for brewing, and I'm gonna guess another reason beyond just the fact that people like to go, I'm not putting a pumpkin in a beer. I think part of it maybe be there's obviously a higher risk of getting stuck mash when you're brewing a pumpkin from what I have seen.
Definitely.
And so I imagine part of it is if it's not going to make money because people don't like it, I'm not going to do even more.
And also the pumpkins we have over here are generally, I think I've said this before, like they're grown for size so that people can carve them. They're not grown for eating. Really,
I've got some fun facts on all those.
Oh, good! Yeah. I'm excited.
I'll save those, but yeah,
because I've had a pumpkin and roasted it here, and it's just not the same as getting like a US pumpkin, or like because you have like sugar pumpkins and things like that, like much sweeter ones than we do, and that will definitely be to do with breeding. So I'm excited to hear about that.
I got some facts on my pumpkins. Yay. But
can we crack this next one?
Yeah,
because
Go.
I'm excited.
I'm the most excited for this.
I was in Edinburgh, and I was in Fierce, and they had it on draft, and I didn't have any because I knew this can was here, so I wanted to be
my good
surprised by when it opens. Yeah, I was like, I want to try it.
Can I just say I'm really proud of you for showing restraint, because I probably wouldn't have done the same. I probably would have been like, I'm having it.
No, I know you would.
But for anyone that can't figure out what we're talking about, it's pumpkin spice latte from Fierce, and it's a spiced amber ale. And also, if anyone does follow my Instagram, you would have seen that I did a Fierce pumpkin this year as one of my pumpkin carvings, and I specifically did it because it was the first pumpkin beer that I saw announced for the year.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's it, you have earned yourself a pumpkin design.
This smells like coffee.
I wonder if it's going to be similar to like, obviously it's not because it's a different style, but I wonder if it will be similar to like Elusive's carving yams, where there's cinnamon in it and there's pumpkin in it, and there are all those flavors, but it does come through more heavily roasty.
So on the can it says packed with all the autumnal flavors that you'd expect from a PSL. ginger, nutmeg, cinnamon, coffee, and vanilla set against a sweet malt biscuit backbone. That sounds delicious. It smells amazing.
It does smell amazing.
Oh. Again, that coffee, biscuit, vanilla.
It does. I feel like it all does come through. For me, there's not enough cinnamon aroma that's coming through. Not that I'm not saying there's not enough cinnamon, but I think in terms of spice aroma, it's not as heavy as like the American one. But I really like the aroma that I'm getting.
It's slightly lighter than the American amber. Right, I'm going in.
Oh my God, I love that. Because it's like you get the roastiness up front, for me, like roastiness up front with a little bit of like spice there. And then it kind of goes like biscuity vanilla at the end.
Yeah. It's roasty, coffee, biscuit, spices, and then coffee and vanilla kind of in the linger at the end. It's tasty.
It is tasty. As we're talking about pumpkin spice lattes because of this beer, do you want to know what goes into a pumpkin spice latte at Starbucks?
Sure. I feel like we should be drinking this out of our PSL cups, though. Just saying.
I feel like that's a lot to like put in a PSL cup. Agree though. So what the recipe, according to like what I've seen online, the recipe is comprised of like these main ingredients, which are milk. Then there's a pumpkin spice sauce. That's what it's called. But what's actually in that pumpkin spice sauce, apparently, is mostly just a mixture of sugar, condensed milk, and pumpkin puree.
Yeah.
The pumpkin puree was added in 2015 because there were complaints that there was no real pumpkin in the pumpkin spice. I was saying to you earlier when we were chatting, not on camera, that basically, they had added that. And that's why if you were drinking PSLs like I was pre 2015, they just looked a bit normal. And in the last however many years it's been now, I can't do the quick maths. That's not one of my skill sets. 7. I don't pretend it is. Exactly. Yeah. In the last 7 years, 100%. I knew that. It's gotten more orange.
They're very orange now.
They're very orange now because they've actually added pumpkin puree. And then it's brewed espresso whipped cream if you go for that. I don't.
Oh, I always go for the whipped cream.
I don't, because I get mine iced and I don't need
you get yours cold and then you put a mocha drizzle in it.
I do, but I wasn't going to say that because that's not one of the main ingredients. That's just my hack, top tip. And then, vanilla syrup. They do put vanilla syrup in that, which is why it's interesting that actually this has vanilla syrup. And then pumpkin spice topping, which is a blend of cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, and clove, which I say no whip and all the sprinkles on top.
I say gimme all the things.
I'm like, give me the sprinkles. And then I go top tip, throw in a mocha shot. And it's fucking amazing.
No, I don't want chocolate in it.
It's for a hot one, a venti, there's already 470 calories in it with 2% milk. And then I'm like, throw some mocha in that. Like, what am I here for?
That's my calories for the day.
No, I like to say that's my calories for the day. And then I'm like, I just finished with that. I don't. But it's a good way to start my day.
Yes.
When they have it this year, they ended it.
They ran out, didn't they?
Yeah, like a week before Halloween, they were like, we're out. We were out since last week. And I was like, we're not even at the end of October right now.
Right.
But my co-workers were happy because they stopped hearing me talk about pumpkin spice quite soon. Well, first they had to hear me complain about the lack of pumpkin spice, but then I got over it and then they were happy because they didn't have to listen to me be basic anymore. So that's what goes into a pumpkin spice latte.
Girl, you still basic. Like, we're basic all year round because I would drink pumpkin spice all year round.
I would, and arguably, like, I feel like in the US, it's a full autumn thing.
Yeah,
and it starts like so much sooner than it does here.
You can get everything that's pumpkin spice. And if I lived there, I would like stock up on pumpkin spice creamer and pumpkin spice Starbucks via coffee sachets, and I would just drink it all 100%.
Normally, my sister will send me some. This year, instead, she sent with my parents pumpkin pie filled like breakfast bars, like cereal bars or something.
That's exciting.
That was really nice. I should have brought you one. I've got some. I'll send you one. That was really nice. And and I had some pumpkin wafer cookies that my parents
Nice.
brought. Those were also really
Did they
good.
send you any pumpkin Oreos?
No pumpkin Oreos.
I had pumpkin pie ice cream
Got pumpkin
when I was over there
bagels.
once, and it was so good. Oh, pumpkin bagels.
Ooh, pumpkin pie ice cream sounds
Ice cream.
incredible.
It was so good. And it was, I can't remember who made it, but I got it in Walmart. And did it have bits of, like, I think it was like pumpkin pie cheesecake as well.
I
And
think
so it had little bits of base in it. It was so good.
I want to say that
Oh,
actually.
that
I
was a
think
Ben and Jerry's one. Ben and Jerry's did one.
it.
And I think I bought like loads and put them in the freezer. That was over here. No, this must have just been pumpkin pie, but it tasted of the spices and the pumpkin, but the crust as well. It was interesting.
Yeah, I've had the Ben and Jerry's one and it was amazing and I loved it. And I just hate that there's not more pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
Gonna make one for Thanksgiving. So, because we're gonna do Thanksgiving over here and I will make a pumpkin pie and it will be joyous and I will be happy. So, yay. So, yeah, I quite like this one. This is good.
Yeah.
It's a good sip. But I think for me, it's a little bit thinner in terms of mouthfeel from like what I would normally gravitate to. But I think I'm not gonna go like, oh, it's rubbish because of that. I think it's good. The flavors are all there. I just think of like if this was a little bit thicker, it would be even more of a like banger.
Yeah.
But this is really good and I like all the mix of flavors that are in it. So
it's good.
Next up is so it's a little bit, we're going to do one that's like pumpkin spice latte, but a little bit of a twist. And it's another one when we talk about ones that are brewed every year. This is one that I had last year in a bottle and it was brilliant. Blueberry pumpkin spice latte from Vault City.
Yeah, this was tasty last year. I'm excited to have this one again.
I love the paisley label on it as well.
It's a fun can.
It is good. I enjoyed last year's. I think I had two. I had one last year and one I saved and tried it again like summertime going into the beginning of autumn. And it was still good. Still very, very good. So
we had to cut that there for a minute because we both had eruptions from our cans.
It was aggressive.
It'd do a bit of a cleanup. Like I had
a lot of a cleanup.
If you want to go on YouTube and look at my video, I've literally got a glass that looks like it might be blueberry pulp.
I've got the top.
That's what came out first.
I wiped my can off.
Yeah. And
it just keeps going. And like, so Rick tried to dab the top of it. And I was like, don't do that. Because when you do that, it just comes out more. Yeah. So yeah, I did that. I didn't even have it. What the problem was, it wasn't even fully cracked initially.
Yeah.
I started to crack it. That's when it erupted. I thought I would try to catch it all. And then I made my way very swiftly to the kitchen for the rest. There was a trail. Rick's had to help me clean it up. I'm very sticky.
Yeah.
Things are covered in blueberry pulp / spices or something. And then I finally, when it was in the sink, cracked it all the way. So it's kind of stopped a little bit.
Yeah.
What I tasted was good.
I haven't tasted it. It smells hugely of blueberry. So listeners, if you grab yourself one of these, open it over a sink.
Yeah. 100%.
It's not the most attractive looking beer.
No, but sometimes I think some of these, like some of the nicest tasting ones aren't always the most attractive looking. And to be honest,
it's a glass wrecker.
Sans the eruption.
Oh, yours looks much nicer than mine.
Oh yeah, mine's all right.
Mine looks like mud.
Sans the eruption, I would say looks the way it did last year.
Mine doesn't. Maybe well, I'm gonna try it.
It almost smells more like apple and cinnamon than it does. Mine almost smells more apple cinnamon.
No, I've definitely got blueberry.
It's blueberry, but like I don't know, the thing I picture is like apple crumble, or maybe just like a crumble in general, fruit crumble. I like it. It's quite fruity. It's quite tart. There's a lot of cinnamon there. Very cinnamon. If there's no cinnamon in this, I'd be shocked because it's very cinnamon.
Yeah, it's very cinnamony.
I mean, I'm happy. It's the right level for me, I think.
The leaves begin to fall and a cool, crisp breeze fills the autumn air, all of which can only mean one thing: the return of blueberry pumpkin spice latte. Anything but basic, this modern style beer hits the spot in any weather, but the sweet tart blueberries and warming spices of cinnamon, nutmeg, and ginger are best enjoyed as a seasonal sensation. The addition of lactose creates a smooth mouthfeel and sweet vanilla flavour to round off each sip.
Definitely lactosey for sure, and the
Yeah.
fullness there. Yeah, I definitely get all that, and I think cinnamon, the ginger's a little bit more muted compared to the cinnamon, and there's definitely like berry there. It's very full on mouthfeel, very thick. Get the vanilla, get the spices, get the blueberry. I think it's definitely a different. It's as good as it was last year for me. I like it personally. When it's not erupting on me, I like it. But I think it's a thing that if you really like those pumpkin spice beers and that's what you're looking for, this is so wildly different.
Yeah,
from
no,
that.
this isn't it.
There is the spices that are in the pumpkin spices, but I wouldn't say that like you'd necessarily, if you closed your eyes and drank it and didn't look at the label, it wouldn't go pumpkin spice. But it is a very good, a very good fruity.
You'd probably say
beer.
like spiced crumble more than than pumpkin spice.
Completely, yeah, that's exactly what I get, a spiced crumble.
I don't think it tastes as good as I remember it tasting, which makes me sad.
Oh, mine does.
No, mine doesn't. I'm not like it's very tart and then spices, and it's almost generically fruity. Last time I really got blueberry. I don't know whether it's because mine's like half of the fruit is in another glass or over the table. But it's not as good as I remember it.
I think mine tastes more or less as I remember. I think there's maybe almost a little bit more like, I want to say coffee-ish element to it, like a roasty element to it, but I don't think there is any like coffee element in it. So I might be misremembering that completely, but there's not. So I'm probably misremembering that. But I think from what I remember, I think it's pretty much of a muchness tastes pretty similar, just a little bit more excitable than the bottle.
Yeah,
the two bottles
I've had.
Excitable. But yeah,
and mine's very muddy. Like mine's not cleared up like yours did. So
mine's alright.
That's probably what the flavour is. I think my flavour's been dulled by.
I would say mine definitely hasn't cleared up.
Yeah, but yours looks like a berry colour.
It's more of a.
Mine looks like mud.
I would say I think the lighting looks different on the camera. In person, it does look a little bit more muddy.
Yeah.
But I think I remember it looking similar last year. Maybe a little bit more blueberry colour.
Yeah.
I feel like it's definitely not as blueberry coloured as it was last year. But there's highlights there. Like in mine, it looks muddy, but then actually when you look at like the highlights to it, it has that blueberry coloured highlight. It's not off-putting. But that's disappointing that yours doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, no, it makes me sad because mine looks like mud. Looks like there's dirt in the glass, so that's not so fun.
Or do you want some fun? Do you want some fun facts?
Yes, let's have some fun facts.
So I've got lots of fun facts. I'll do some of them now, and I'll say some of them. But there's over 150 types of pumpkin species in the world.
Oh, that's fun.
They vary in color, so it's not all just orange. There are some that are green, there are some that are white, and I've got this pumpkin here to demonstrate if you're looking at the video. There are some that are more like reddish pinkish color, and there's some that are actually blue.
I've seen the blue ones.
There's I think it's called a blue Jarradale, is how you pronounce that. That is a bright blue pumpkin.
Yeah, there was a
absolutely gorgeous color.
A pick your own pumpkin patch in Kent that I went to, and they had white ones and pink ones and the blue ones. It was super fun.
The blue ones apparently are like more rare as well, so like I would have been like getting that. But yeah, that was interesting because I didn't really know. I knew there was white, there was various shades of full fun colors, but I didn't realize they were blue or red until I started looking. They all have their strengths and weaknesses, as we said. So like some are really good for baking, like mammoth golds or sweetie pies. That's a fun name. And there are some that are better for brewing. So like on various home brewing sites. Some said they like to use crookneck pumpkins. Some say they like to use cheese pumpkins. Cheese pumpkins are called that because they look like wheels of cheese. So they resemble a wheel of cheese with a light orange skin color and smooth with only slight ribs. So yeah, you don't typically you typically wouldn't use, as you said, like how you wouldn't use certain pumpkins, you wouldn't use your standard carving pumpkins usually, because they just have more minimal flavor and they're not as fermentable as like some other pumpkins. So yeah, that was interesting. I thought the Atlantic giant is the largest species of pumpkin. Ooh. Supposedly it can grow up to 400, it can grow up to between 400 and 500 pounds. That's roughly around 181 to 227 kilos. Ooh. And it's the one that most resembles the Great Pumpkin in Charlie Brown. There's a species called prize winner, all one word. And they are the ones that are best used for like roadside displays in the US and contests, because they are quite uniform in shape, shallow ribs, bright orange skin. So yeah, those are the ones that tend to be the ones that are the best to put on display. Who would have known that prize winner was the best to put on display? There is one species of tiny pumpkins that's cooler. It looks like this.
Munchkin.
Like this little baby one. It's not called a munchkin. It's called a bumpkin pumpkin.
Oh.
There's probably munchkin pumpkins as well. There's various like small ones. But I know that at least probably a lot of them look similar to this, the small mini ones. If you're watching the video, it's a teeny tiny little pumpkin. But yeah, a bumpkin pumpkin. How cute is that? Not all pumpkins are round. So there's some like the Shishigatani, which are hourglass shaped.
Oh,
for example.
But kind of like a butternut squash.
Yes, exactly like a butternut squash. But I think it's like a so there are some that are more on point to a butternut squash.
Yeah.
How it kind of is like one size and then gets bigger at the bottom.
Yeah.
This one is quite literally, from the photo that I saw, it was like big on top, then narrow, and then like big again at the bottom, like an hourglass. Yeah. And I don't even think that's something that like they've grown it in a particular way to make that happen. That's just how they grow. So that was quite interesting. Just wanted to mention some of the fun names that I saw for pumpkins. There was Baby Boo. That's kind of, I call Faye on that sometimes. Casper, obviously both the Baby Boo and the Caspers have white outsides.
Nice.
There was Little Pumpkin Mons. I don't know if that's just like, that's probably like an affectionate name for what somebody's named it, but it's not the scientific name, but it's hilarious. There was Knuckleheads, Warty Goblin. That was one. A warty goblin.
Nice.
I'm gonna guess that's got lots of warts on it.
Yeah.
But yeah. And I just thought it was also worth noting, I've done this before, so I can vouch that this works. You can grow your own pumpkin seeds, basically. Like when you carve your pumpkin and you peel the insides out, what you do is you take those pumpkin seeds, you wash them, like get a colander, wash them off, get all the pulpy bits off, lay them out sort of flat on a baking sheet. You kind of dab them dry and then lay them out, and then you let them fully dry, and then you can basically just put them in like a little pouch or something else, and you can grow pumpkins using those pumpkin seeds. It works. I've done it. Mine didn't flower, annoyingly, but they did flower, but I don't think they didn't grow the pumpkin. I think it's because apparently you need to have a male and a female, and I don't think I did. So they flowered, and it was a beautiful big like yellow flower, gorgeous, and then nothing actually grew from it. So I kind of quit the pumpkin growing game before I even started, really.
Also, you can roast the seeds and they're yummy.
You can. My mum was like, do you want to roast these pumpkin seeds? Because we were going to make soup with I've got numerous pumpkins here because our office had a surplus of pumpkins, and she was like, shall we roast some? So some of these are going to be roasted and made into soup. So which brings me back to what I was saying about the brewing process. Basically, to prepare those pumpkins in advance, you basically have to cut them in half, remove the seeds, place it on a cookie sheet. It's optional if you want to season it or not. You can put some brown sugar in, or kind of whatever seasonings you sort of fancy there. Brown sugar will kind of melt and caramelize when you put it in the oven. You'll want to roast it until it's soft, which your miles can vary depending on where you're roasting it and everything. But it's typically around 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 190 degrees Celsius. I've done a squash, which is obviously another type of gourd, for about an hour, and that was fine. This said here like can be roughly 3 hours. That seems like a lot.
That's a lot. I feel like 45
like
minutes to an hour.
So I think it probably depends on how big your pumpkin is as well. The type of pumpkin you have, I'm not sure. Then basically once that's done, you decide if you want to cube it, puree it. I've got some pumpkin puree in my fridge right now from basically doing this. And then you just store it in the fridge till brew day. Then you want to get it to warm, like room temperature. And then from there, you kind of add it in whenever you decide you want to add it in, if you add it into the boil or wherever else. But I have been given on one website a top tip, apparently, that if you're a super sustainable person, once you've put it in the boil and the pumpkin pieces have been boiled, apparently you can make pumpkin pie using those pieces.
Oh.
I would have never thought to try that, but they do advise putting the pumpkin into like mesh bags effectively to avoid a stuck mash, which obviously doesn't work if you're using like pumpkin puree, but if you're using like cubed pieces. Have you ever brewed or homebrewed with pumpkin before?
Yeah, I made the pumpkin double.
Oh, yeah, you did. That was really good. Did you use puree, didn't you?
I used puree, yeah.
A lot of times, so what I found was like a lot of times when you're brewing like a larger scale brewery in the US anyways, larger scale brewery, they tend to use canned. Apparently fresh is always kind of best. However, they will use canned a lot of the time. This obviously isn't a hard and fast rule because they want to hit the market first. And a lot of times, in order to get it out as quickly as possible, even before autumn hits, they need to have some pumpkin, and pumpkins haven't been harvested yet. They're not ready to be harvested and used. So they used canned pumpkin from last year.
I mean, it's a bit of a stretch to try and get canned pumpkin over here.
Oh, you have to try. I think we talked about this before. You have to go to the international section. As well.
If you're lucky, they'll have it in an American section. I've not seen it in a while. Like the cans of pumpkin, I've got cans of pumpkin in my cupboard right now, and they were from the year before because I stocked up.
I did as well. Yeah. But then I got these pumpkins.
Yeah.
And I've made puree and I've frozen some of it. And so
it depends though, because sometimes I've done that and the pumpkin itself wasn't a very good eating pumpkin. So the puree wasn't that tasty. Yeah. Whereas, the stuff in the can is made to be like put in baked goods, put in food, like put in cooking and stuff. So depends.
Yeah, so those are all your fun facts for the day. Shall we move on to our last and final
Let's move on to our last one. Episode 3
now. I feel I'm like
I think we'll be okay with this one.
So do you want to say which one this one is?
This is S43 and BrewYork's Pumpkin Lure of the Dark Side this year. It's called Imperial Pumpkin Spice Latte Stout. I love on the side, I've just noticed it says store between 2 degrees and 6 degrees Celsius in the fridge, obviously.
This housey, I love it.
Oh, it's got Hercules hops in it. I've seen Hercules hops growing.
I don't think I actually stopped to look at any of the bill on it.
Interesting.
There's actual pumpkin in it. There's pumpkin and spices and single origin coffee beans.
Yeah.
Brew.
Right.
Obviously, you could go back and listen to our episode last year on the pumpkin spice with S43, which was an incredible beer. Again, this is one of their yearly releases that I look forward to.
I quite like that they change the name every year.
They do, yeah.
And I'm like, then I wonder if it's different, but it tends to be the
probably
same
slight. Beer. I imagine it's like the same way. They probably make like slight, subtle differences to it. Yeah, like what coffee they use, maybe, and the hops they use. And, despite the rumors you heard, they're not closing. They are moving location, so they are stopping brewing until they move location.
This is very spicy.
It has like a luxurious, like rich aroma to it. That's what I think of in my mind, like dried fruits. I think that's the spices coming through as like dried fruits.
Lots of ginger, coffee.
Ooh. Did not expect that.
That is quite fruity.
I didn't expect
that. And chocolatey.
when I said I didn't expect that, I don't mean that in a negative way.
No.
That was a positive. Wow. Ooh. 8.5%, which I feel it tastes about that level, because there's that like booziness in the back end of it.
Yeah. I'd like to know what single origin coffee they used.
It's
Eco
got to
coffee
be
beans.
It's got to be something that's more fruity notes to it, surely.
Yeah, it's proper fruity. I really like it.
I feel like this is the most coffee one out of them all, and the spices are a little bit more subtle but balanced in a really nice way.
Yeah.
This is very smooth. And when I say that, you know, tastes about the 8.5% mark,
yeah,
I would say it's more like on the exhale. Like once you've had a sip, the back end on an exhale, you're like, okay, like there's a little bit booziness there, but it's quite easy to drink. It doesn't have like an overpowering like alcohol burn or anything like that. I mean, I know I'm only saying it's 8.5%, it's not double digits, but it's quite nice. The fruitiness was surprising.
It's really lovely.
I've still got a can of last year, so I feel like at some point I've got another can of this and I've got one from last year, so I'm gonna have to do a side by side probably.
Yeah.
Overall, very enjoyable. I like them all. This one might be actually my favorite.
I was thinking the same thing.
Sipper. It's definitely one that I feel like I'd sip on because it would be too rich if I was just like drinking it quickly.
I just totally did that meme. What's your drink of choice? I was thinking I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah. I forgot that video. I just wanted to say that I've got a few more pumpkin facts.
Oh,
the reason why
I thought we were done with the pumpkin facts.
I thought, so we were, but actually there was another link that I had, which is 15 pumpkin facts that'll make you say, oh my god.
Oh, can we say, oh my god?
Oh my god. Oh my god, it's pumpkin spice.
Oh my god. Oh my god. There was something the other day that made me really laugh, and it was something about oh my god, or it was something about gourds. And I was like to Gordon, I was like, ha ha ha, that's funny. And he's like, I don't get it. And I was like, what do you mean? And I had to explain that a gourd is a pumpkin and a butternut squash. I was like, you're not going to get that joke.
I would
if you don't know what a gourd is.
Appreciated.
I know you would have done
that.
Yeah,
I love that video of that guy going, oh my god, it's pumpkin spice. That is
literally
you every year. Like I feel like you know when pumpkin spices have come out because I message you the second that I get the message.
Literally the second I get capital letters message, it's here. I've also just yelling at me over Facebook Messenger.
I mean, I yell at like Rick, like I'll be like, it's happening, and he's like, what? And I was like, pumpkin spice. It happened when I was at work this year, not working from home, and I was like, guess we're gonna have to go and get pumpkin spice. So I did. It was great. But yeah, I couldn't not go to this. It's Good Housekeeping's website, which is like a US website. Couldn't not go to it. It's 15 facts that'll make you say, oh my god. So number one, the word pumpkin showed up for the first time in the fairy tale Cinderella. I'm not fact checking, by the way. I'm not fact checking any of
Please do your own fact checking on this.
Do your own independent research, fact check the fuck out of it. I just picked this because I said, oh my god. So that's why I'm choosing to read this. I can't vouch if it's accurate. But yeah, apparently the word pumpkin showed up for the first time in the fairy tale Cinderella. A French explorer, so this is like the thing underneath it, a French explorer in 1584 first called them gros melons, which was translated into English as pompions, according to history. It wasn't until the 17th century that they were first referred to as pumpkins.
Ah, okay.
Interesting. I knew this one. The original jack-o'-lanterns were made with turnips and potatoes by the Irish.
Yes,
I did actually know that. In England, they used large beets and lit them with embers to ward off evil spirits. Irish immigrants brought their customs to America, but found that pumpkins were much easier to carve. Yeah. Can you imagine carving like a tiny...
but the turnips were just much harder. And it's not like they're hollow in the middle, like they're solid all the way through.
Oh, I'm just picturing like trying to carve a potato. Like I'm like trying to pick like a tiny potato and you're just like putting a little face on it and you're like, "Here's my pumpkin."
They didn't necessarily put faces on them. Like they like kind of
What
took
do
the
they?
insides
So
out.
I knew that they made like I knew they made the jack-o'-lantern for them, but it's just like thinking, how
Like
do you
they'd have just put like a we're not getting as elaborate as the things that you do. Like it's just to make it look a bit scary to scare off evil spirits.
someone's
And
carved a hop
it's
into
like,
a potato.
right. And also like the light, because it's still a tradition now. Like I will light a candle and leave it like I use an electric one, obviously for safety, and I leave it in my window overnight on Halloween because then it guides the spirits home and like away from living in your house.
I like that. That's good. Oh, here's a good one. Pumpkins are grown on every continent except Antarctica.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably difficult to do it in Antarctica.
I mean, yeah. But it's something you don't really think about, is it? Like until someone tells you it's grown everywhere, not Antarctica. Over 1.5 billion pounds of pumpkins are produced each year in the United States. And the top pumpkin producing states are Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and California. Which you would assume that would mean they probably would be the places that have the most amount of pumpkin beer. But I wonder if that's actually the case. Because obviously, like New England, I feel like because we're big on autumn and Halloween and all that, we've got Salem, we've got all the things. We really love our pumpkin flavored things, our pumpkin spiced flavored things. I wonder how big that is in those states.
For the honor of Boston.
No, because I don't think we produce that many pumpkins comparatively, because Illinois and Indiana and Ohio, those are quite.
But no, are you gonna contest that just because they've got all the pumpkins, it doesn't mean that's where all the pumpkin beer comes from?
No, I was just wondering if it has that same type of presence over there,
right? Because
of the fact that they are top, or if it's, I don't know if there's any correlation. That'd be interesting if there was. I don't know. Morton, Illinois calls itself the pumpkin capital of the world. So 95% of the pumpkins grown in the US are harvested in Illinois soil.
Oh.
And apparently Morton is allegedly responsible for 80% of the world's canned pumpkin production. Oh. So I wonder if any pumpkins you put into your pumpkin double
maybe
were from Morton.
They may well have been.
80% of the US's pumpkin crop is available during October. I mean, that seems obvious. That's not really a fun fact, is it? I'm not saying, oh my God, over that.
No, we're going to start like rating how fun these facts are.
Not fun. That is not, oh my God. World's heaviest pumpkin weighed over 2,600 pounds, and it was grown in Germany. So in kilos.
Same real money.
In kilos, that is roughly 1,179 kilos.
That's a lot.
You go, Germany. I think this is quite, oh my God. The largest pumpkin pie ever baked weighed 3,699 pounds, which is, it already knows that I want to search pounds to kilos. I love that. Roughly 1,678 kilos.
Wow. Where did it say where that was made? It's going to be in one of your American states.
It doesn't even say. So that has downgraded the,
how can I go, oh my God
level
if you're not telling me where it's made?
I don't know who to even. Well, I can tell you though, the fact that they've given you underneath that has nothing to do with where that pumpkin pie is from, though they do put a picture of it.
Oh.
There's a photo of it, but there's literally no detail around it.
No other details.
It says, originated in the colonies, just not as we know them today, the pumpkin pie recipes. Colonists would cut the tops off pumpkins, remove the seeds, fill the pumpkins with milk, spices, and honey, and then bake them in hot ashes.
Oh.
It doesn't sound like pumpkin pie, but I'm interested. That is an interesting approach.
You do it on the grill outside.
Try it. We should make some of these historic things. Oh, this could be, oh my God. Oh. Each pumpkin has about 500 seeds.
Oh, that is interesting.
They take between 90 and 120 days to grow, which is why it's recommended to plant them between May and July. Over in that part of the world, probably not over here. It's probably different. Delaware used to host an annual Pumpkin Chunkin Championship, which I knew this. Basically, teams compete in a pumpkin launching competition. Pumpkins shot almost 5,000 feet in the air from a cannon. So
they're not throwing them then. I was going to say, is it like welly wanging?
No, it's like a trebuchet.
I was hoping that people were like shot putting it.
That's about 5,000 feet is about 1,524 meters.
Oh, so I wanted it to be really exciting. Like I wanted to like equate it to welly wanging. Like
that's a weird. The word wanging makes me feel.
You like?
I like the word, but also it feels weird. Oh, is that like people throw their boots?
Yeah. That people throw a welly and like you want to like get a good spin on it so that it goes really far.
We drove someplace that's like there's some place in the UK that's like responsible for like the pea flicking competition of who can flick a pea the farthest. And it's something to do with
we're simple folk.
It's something to do with like things. This
we don't need no trebuchets. No. We just throw them.
Something like this village, like the way it's like quite hilly, and it's like if you do it in the right way, the pea will bounce off all these buildings and go like quite far apparently. But yeah,
places where you roll cheese down hills as well.
Oh yes, that's Cheddar. That's in Cheddar, isn't it? Yeah, Cheddar Gorge. We went to Cheddar Gorge, and I thought it'd be brilliant if they had a mascot called Cheddar George. Just think about that.
Cheddar Gorgeous.
What is that a thing? Cheddar Gorgeous?
Cheddar Gorgeous is a drag queen. Are you not watching the series?
No spoilers. No spoilers. No spoilers. No spoilers.
Hell, you are so behind.
I've been busy. I've had a lot of things on. But the Pumpkin Chunkin, it's not an event anymore, Joe. Don't worry. It was cancelled in 2017 because
they were using trebuchets instead of just shot putting it.
Yeah, and guess what? There was a tragic accident in 2016.
What happened?
I'm going to find out now. 2 injured in
they didn't die.
Horrific pumpkin accident at Pumpkin Chunkin Festival in Delaware. An air cannon exploded while launching a pumpkin. Oh,
their health and safety was not good.
No. In this case, an air cannon called the Pumpkin Reaper.
I mean, that's unfortunate.
That is an unfortunate name. This is not funny, but holy shit. Exploded as it launched a pumpkin with a trapdoor and other parts flying into the air. Oh, and there was footage of it posted on YouTube. Oh my goodness. 39-year-old woman was struck by falling pieces in the head.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
This is why you should just shot put it.
I'm going to spare you the other injuries, but I mean, the other guy, 56-year-old, suffered non-life-threatening injuries, so he was all right. But oh my goodness, so no more pumpkin chunking. That is fact number 11. Yeah, very bad health and safety. That was definitely an oh my god, but not in a good way. No. That was like a oh my god graphic. There are more than 45 different varieties of pumpkin. Wrong, it's more than 150, buddy.
You're wrong, Good Housekeeping.
But this one says they've got names like hooligan, cotton candy, and orange smoothie. So fun. 12 pumpkins are technically fruits. It's not that exciting, is it?
No.
Every single part of a pumpkin is edible. Yeah.
Well, even the stem.
Obviously. Yeah.
I mean, I suppose you could eat it. I wouldn't want to.
You can eat it. It's just not like you can eat tree bark. Doesn't mean I want to.
It's true.
Oh, this is a good one. Pumpkins are over 90% water, which makes them a low-calorie food. 1 cup of canned pumpkin has less than 100 calories and only half a gram of fat.
Until in comparison, you put it in pumpkin bread.
Oh, yeah, true. In comparison, the same size serving of a sweet potato has triple the calories. They also have more fiber than kale, more potassium than bananas, and are full of heart healthy magnesium and iron.
Nice.
But yeah, again, when you put them in like a pumpkin bread with a cheesecake, cheesecake layer on it or something, maybe not so much. And then this is ridiculous. Number 15, the least oh my god ever. Surprisingly, pumpkin pie isn't America's favorite. Well, no shit. No one goes, that's about as American as pumpkin pie. No one says that. No. This is according to a survey by the American Pie Council. It's apple.
Yeah, of course it is.
19% of it says that.
Everyone knows that. There's an entire song about it.
Pumpkin is second place with a respectable 13%. Like I said, no one goes, oh, so American, just like pumpkin pie. They say, oh, that's as American as apple pie.
As apple pie, yeah. It's
There's
American
a film.
pie is an apple pie.
There's basically films with that
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of things. No one says pumpkin pie.
No, that's dumb.
Oh, thanks, good housekeeping. That's all the facts I've got.
Ta-da!
Only like 3 of them made me say, oh my God.
There you go, my listeners. That is our pumpkin beers episode.
Yeah. Obviously, shout outs to Kitch from Brass Castle, because that was like one of the best ones that I've still compared to all these are all very good, but still, even when you take the American one into consideration, I think Kitch is still, up there for very enjoyable. We've got carving yams. I got you a carving yams. I've had Abbeydale's yearly release of Pilgrim. Very good. I feel like, what other ones are we missing? Any other ones that I can think of that came out?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. I think we got everything.
Yeah, I can't think of any other ones off the top of my head.
I was sad that Abbeydale didn't put out their peach and pumpkin Funk Dungeon one this year.
Did they not? I thought that they did.
If they did, I thought they
did.
It's so good.
I still have mine from last year, I think. But I know that it will get extra funky. So
I drank it because it was so good.
I'm just Googling now. Oh, this looks good. This is not that one. The labels are interesting.
Yeah, I like that.
I really like the artwork on there. The Funk Dungeon one is Rise Again, spelled RYES. Barrel-aged fruited sour beer.
Oh, that's right. It's got rye in it, hasn't it?
And I'm going to guess there's rye in that bad boy. That's good. That's got to be interesting. No, unfortunately.
No, see, it's not out. Made me sad.
No, but
delicious.
There is a Cellar Master Reserve. Souchong goes. That's interesting. But yeah, this year's Pilgrim was great. So
back to the point.
Take that as you will. So
anyway, that's it. We're done.
That's it. We're done.
Tori, if people want to talk to you about your spoopy bitch cup,
so spoopy,
and how jealous they are that you have one and they don't,
so jealous,
where can they get hold of you?
If you want to watch me gloat about my spoopy bitch mug, you can find me on Instagram at adventures_in_hoptimism. I guess you could email me at Gmail, adventuresinhoptimism@gmail.com. I will answer. I'll probably be the first point of contact for your podcast emails at awomansbrewpodcast@gmail.com. Yeah, that's me. Joe, where can people ask you to make them a spoopy bitch mug?
I mean, you can ask me and I'm going to say no because it's
limited edition,
worldwide exclusive.
Gatekeeping.
Yeah, worldwide exclusive. Soz. You can find me at my beer school, which is Love Beer Learning. That is Love Beer Learning on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Pinterest, and YouTube. As I may have mentioned the last time, there's some exciting things coming, so keep an eye out. Been fiddling around with some stuffs, so we'll see how that goes. Also, I have a website, which is lovebeerlearning.co.uk, and you can get a hold of me on email at lovebeerlearning@gmail.com. You can also get a hold of us on the podcast at A Woman's Brew on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We don't read the Twitter. We're not following old Elon Musk. So, don't bother there. But
we're there, but we're not there.
We're there. We're not really there. And we are on YouTube as A Woman's Brew Podcast.
Let's go finish up the rest of these amazing pumpkin beers,
Let's do it.
as they say.
Cheers.
Cheers.